before he was a king, before he wore a crown, before he stood before giants and armies. David was just a shepherd boy, unknown, overlooked, and underestimated. Yet his life would become one of the most powerful stories ever told. A story of courage, worship, sin, repentance, and God's relentless grace. If you enjoy powerful Bible stories like this, take a moment right now to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below where you're watching from. It helps this message reach more people who need it. Now, let's step back into ancient Israel and begin the life of David. David's story begins in Bethlehem, in the house of Jesse. When the prophet Samuel arrived to anoint Israel's next king, Jesse proudly presented his strongest sons, tall, impressive, and battle-ready. One by one, God rejected them. Finally, Samuel asked, "Are these all the sons you have?" Almost as an afterthought, Jesse replied, "There is still the youngest, but he is tending the sheep." David wasn't even considered worth inviting. Yet when David entered the room, God spoke clearly. Man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. In that moment, Samuel anointed David with oil, and though no one fully understood it yet, the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon him. David returned to the fields, still a shepherd, but now marked by God. Years later, Israel faced a terrifying enemy. Goliath, a giant warrior from Gath, stood over 9 feet tall, mocking Israel and defying their God. For 40 days, trained soldiers froze in fear. Then David arrived carrying food for his brothers. When he heard Goliath's challenge, something stirred in him, not fear, but faith. David asked, "Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God?" The king's armor was offered to him, but David refused it. Instead, he ran toward the giant with only a sling, 5 smooth stones, and absolute trust in God. 1 stone, 1 strike, 1 giant fell. That day, David didn't just defeat Goliath. He proved that faith in God outweighs size, strength, and fear. David became a national hero. Women sang in the streets, "Saul has slain his thousands, and David his tens of thousands." But praise can awaken jealousy. King Saul grew consumed with envy and fear. Though David served him faithfully, Saul tried again and again to kill him. David fled into the wilderness, living in caves, hiding among enemies, surviving betrayal. Yet through it all, David refused to harm Saul, even when given the chance. He declared, "I will not lay my hand on the Lord's anointed." David trusted God's timing, not his own ambition. Eventually, Saul died in battle. David became king, first over Judah, then over all Israel. He united the nation, defeated enemies, brought the Ark of the Covenant to Jerusalem. David worshipped openly, dancing before the Lord with joy and humility. God established David's kingdom and made a promise that his throne would endure forever. This covenant would one day lead to Jesus Christ, the Son of David. But David's greatest failure was still ahead. At the height of his power, David made a devastating choice. Instead of going to war, he stayed home. From his rooftop, he saw Bathsheba. Desire turned to action. Action turned to deception. Deception turned to murder. David arranged the death of her husband, Uriah. For a time, His sin remained hidden, but God saw everything. The prophet Nathan confronted David with a story, and when David realized the truth, he broke. He didn't defend himself. He didn't make excuses. He cried out, "I have sinned against the Lord." Psalm 51 was born from that moment. A prayer of repentance still echoed today. Though God forgave David, consequences followed. His family suffered. His kingdom was shaken. His heart was humbled. Yet David never stopped seeking God. He learned that true strength isn't found in perfection, but in repentance. God restored David, not because he was flawless, but because his heart returned to him. David's life reminds us that God can use the forgotten, the broken, and even the fallen. A shepherd became a king. A sinner became a psalmist. A flawed man became part of God's eternal plan. If this story encouraged you, please like this video, subscribe for more Bible stories, and comment below. What part of David's life speaks to you the most? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.